Hi, everybody. It's Sarah Fancy here. I want to show you how you can use Spooky2 to treat your pets. See, hold on a minute. Here we go. Okay, so in this presentation, I'm going to talk about common ailments among pets, Spooky2 modes for pets that you can use, connecting Spooky2 devices to use on pets, operating Spooky2 software for pet programs, and I'm going to miss out the Q&A. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments and I will answer them. And I will put a discount code in there for you. So check it out with a link to Spooky products. So you can check out the products that I'm talking about in this presentation. Okay, so Spooky2 is safe to use on any animal. Horses, donkeys, dogs, cats, goats, pigs, birds, cows, reptiles, rabbits, mice and rats, hamsters, guinea pigs, ferrets, squirrels. If I missed any out, sorry, but it's pretty much you can use it on any animal. This is a picture of my horse Diva, my very large horse, and my cat Tinkerbell, who is passed actually. She passed a few months ago. She was 20. All right, common ailments for pets, injuries and wounds, fleas, parasites and worms, cancer, ear and eye, skin conditions, liver issues, kidney problems, gastrointestinal infections, PTSD, anxiety, depression, nausea, dental, arthritis, allergies. That's just a few, and I'm sure there's more. Okay, so here's the modes that you can use. You can use remote, which is probably the easiest. Contact, scalar, plasma, cold laser, PEMF, and imprinting. And if you don't know what any of those are, I'm going to explain it as we get into it. So yeah, choosing the right method and device for your pets. Okay, so I have horses and I have dogs and I have cats. And I'm going to show you what I use for them. So the Generator X Pro remote, which I said earlier, is probably the easiest, but you do have to get a DNA sample from your pet. So the left picture here is the Generator X Pro. Okay, it's a twin generator. In the picture, you'll see the booster coming out. That's the booster. And then attached to the booster is the remote box. Okay, so you can also use the Generator XM, which is the single generator. It's just as good to use as remote. And then on the right here is a picture of the remote box. You can see it's pretty small. That's where you're going to put the DNA sample. All right, so the DNA samples you can use are like toenails or hoofs. I've even used the chestnut on a horse. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's the growth on the inside of the leg. When I was in a hurry the other day, I didn't have time to go and get a file and all that. I just took a little tiny piece off. You only need a tiny, tiny piece because it's going to fit in that box. And then you put it in between two stickers. And then you want to put your pet's name and then the date. Okay, because it's going to have about a month's worth of, being able to use to send them frequencies. And then you get a new sample. Okay, you can also use the hair and you can use blood and urine and I think that's it. but they don't last as long. It's not going to last. It might last a couple of days, but the nail is going to last you longer. So I did a video here of how I got a sample of hoof from my horse Corazon. So I'm just going to play the video. So I have a rasp. It's like a huge nail file that you use when you file your horse's hoof down. I actually do my own trimming on my horses. So I have this, but I'm going to show you another way in case you don't have one of these rasps. So I'm just filing that down, and yeah, there you go. It lands on that platform, and then I just put it in a little bag. See that? It looks a bit like dust, right? That's it. So I use that, and then I put that in between two stickers. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so another way of doing of working with your pets is using the sample digitizer. Okay, so the Generator X Pro sample digitizer, it only works with the Generator X Pro. You can't use this with an XM. Okay, so here on the bottom left is an image of what it looks like. You've got the generator, you've got the remote coming out. You don't have the booster connected, okay, because it could interfere. So you don't put the booster on, you just go straight in with the remote. I believe it's out one, but if you look at that image, you can just copy it. And then the sample digitizer is basically like two slides, glass slides that fit together. And then you sandwich in between that your sample, which is going to be something like saliva. It's a buccal sample, which is inside the cheek. Blood, like I said, or urine or mucus as well. You can use that. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I got a sample from my horse Ruby, and I used what are called Q-tips, okay? And I scraped the inside of her mouth without getting bit. Hold on. Here we go. Actually, yeah, so it's getting a saliva sample. So yeah, I kind of stabilize her nose, and then there's a gap in between. There you go. See that gap where there's no teeth? You just put the Q-tip in there and just saturate it as much as you can. Get as much saliva as you can, right? Because it's got to be wet when you put it in. And then again, I put it in a little plastic bag. There's my sample. Let's do it again. And that's what I'm going to use to do the sample digitizer. Okay. So here's another way that you can get, I believe it's another way of getting a hoof sample by just using a regular nail file. Okay. And again, it's Corazon. So, if you don't have the rasp, but you have a nail file, it's a little tricky, right? I just put the bag under the hoof and I just file away. It's going to fall into the bag. I don't need much. Okay. You don't need much at all. And then I can use that. That's probably easier way of doing it. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, so using the Spooky2 scalar field, Okay, so this is a simple and easy way to support your pet's health and healing. So the scalar field is different than the frequencies, all right? So the scalar comes from Tesla and the frequencies come from Rife. But Spooky2 has a scalar device. It's incredible. It's so easy. You just basically plug it in, you tune it, and then you turn it on. You turn it on and tune it. That's what you do. It's simple. And you create a field, right? So you create a scalar field. So I have it on the side of my bed, and there's my pets on my bed, and they're getting a nice dose of scalar right there. Okay, so scalar boosts your health. It's a healing modality. It's not killing anything really. It's more about healing. But that's a very simple and easy way to help your pets. And then you have the Spooky2 Central for plasma treatments. So to use the plasma, you need the Spooky2 Central. Okay. That's what people get if they have cancer or serious illnesses, as it's a lot stronger. And you see here, there's my dog, Foxy. So I put the Fanatrom. No, that's actually the straight plasma tube. Okay, so there's a Fanatrom tube and a straight plasma tube. And what you see in the photo is the straight plasma tube. Okay. And then you can put any program in there that you want. So say like I want to put Schumann resonance in there for her. And then I just turn it on and there she is right next to it. And it's going to affect her. Okay. The Fanatron tube looks like a disco ball, and that's more localized for localized areas, where this one here is gonna work further away, okay, and more systemic, like the entire body. All right, and now we have cold laser and PEMF. So the cold laser device, you can get that separately. It's really cheap, actually. I think it's about $30 or something. And then the PEMF is also not expensive. They're really worth getting. They do come in the Generator X Pro kit, okay, as part of that bundle. So on the left, you have the cold laser, which you're going to put on the actual area, right? So say like it's your dog, you work around it. Like maybe you can have the dog lay on it. It's a little tricky because you don't want to expose them to the light because the light can damage the retinas. So it's a little tricky, right? But there's other ways that we can use the cold laser. You can use it for imprinting. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. You can also use the PEMF for imprinting. The PEMF is probably easier to use because you don't have to worry about the light getting in the animal's eyes. So the PEMF here is on the right. And I've done that where I just put it in my dog's bed and then she sits on top of it. And those are good for wounds. They're good for circulation, speed up healing, and aches and pains, arthritis, things like that. And then you have imprinting frequencies, which I already mentioned. Okay, so what is imprinting? Imprinting is when you put the frequencies into water or any liquid thing. Oh, actually, you can put it into crystals as well, and you could put it into stickers. Okay, so here's two examples. On the left are the stickers. They have to be holographic. Okay, Spooky2 has holographic stickers. I think they ran out though. I don't know if they I don't think they sell them anymore, but you can get holographic stickers anywhere. You can buy them online. They're not that expensive. And then here on the right, is a glass of water. You want to use a glass, don't use plastic. And there's different ways of imprinting. Hold on, let me go back. I want to talk about imprinting a bit more. So the PEMF coil, you saw that? It looks like a spoon kind of with a hole in the middle. The hole is actually for oils. Okay, so you can imprint essential oils, you can imprint olive oil, plain oil, right? And you can imprint whatever you want. So if it's for a pet who, let's say, has nausea or, something like that, you can put a nausea program in there and you can imprint it. You can also imprint vitamins, okay, and supplements in there. There's 60,000 frequency programs in the database. I mean, there's so much to choose from in there. You can also imprint, the results that you got from the scan, like this, the digitizer, the sample digitizer that I showed you earlier. You can also imprint that into water or into the stickers. So the stickers, say like it's for a dog, you can put it on the sticker on the inside of the collar, right? You want to get it close. You want to get it touching, really. But that's a good place to put it. And I usually put tape over it so it doesn't fall off. And then you can put the water in their water bowl, right? You just have to kind of be creative. I read about someone who used a sticker for their goat because it was really ill and she knew what to give it. I think it was like B12 or something like that. And she just imprinted B12 onto a sticker and then put it on the goat somehow. Maybe I can't remember how she did it, but she got it on the goat somehow. And the goat, and it had an immediate effect, and the goat got better. So that was a really great story. It's just one example. You kind of got to be creative and work with what you have. I'm just giving you ideas, right? Because there's a lot that you can do. I hope I'm not overwhelming you because it is kind of a lot, but I just want to give you a kind of overview, right? To show you all the possibilities and the different ways that you can help your pets. All right, so detoxing with terrain for pets. So terrain is an 11-day detox program. It's in the database as a preset. Once you start it, it will just continue. And I've done it on all my horses, maybe at least twice. I've done it on my dogs and I've done it on my cat and obviously myself. It's an excellent program. It's pretty safe and just have to make sure that you have plenty of water available because they probably are going to get thirstier. And if it's you that's doing it, you want to drink lots more water, okay? Because you're going to be flushing out toxins. And then I did notice that on my mare Corazon, you met her earlier. She's a Mustang. She had a growth on her neck, and it was there for a few years. I don't even know what it was really. It was quite big. And after 2 cycles of the 11-day terrain, I didn't do them sequentially. I had a gap. I maybe did it like 3 months later or 4 or 5 months later. But I noticed after the second round, that thing fell off, like it wasn't there anymore. So that was good. And the only thing I could think of was that I did the cleanse on her because I didn't do anything else. Nothing else was different, really. Okay, so I'm just going to explain if you're using the terrain where you would find it in the software. So you see the presets there on the right. You're going to use a DNA sample and you're going to put it in the remote box. Okay. So when you go to home on the presets, you'll see detox. It's in there. Once you go into detox, then you pick terrain. There's different kinds of terrain. I'm going to show you when we go into software because it's possible you might want to use a lesser voltage for your pet. Personally, I use the regular one, but there are lower voltages. So say like you have a lizard or a bird, and you want to make it more gentle, you totally can do that in the settings. I'll show you later. So you can also use terrain using contact, TENS pads, or hand cylinders. So it's a little tricky with using the TENS pads with the dogs, you know, where you're going to put the TENS pads, and then that they're not going to rip it off, right? Unless they're really out, then you could probably do it. You could maybe do it in an emergency. Or the cylinders are going to probably be easier because then you can just have them on top of the cylinders, right? Laying on top of them. But you want it on them. You don't want it away from them. It has to have contact. Here we go. All right, so I am going to go into the software now. I'm going to show you how to use terrain. I just talked about that. Using presets, customizing programs, and the sample digitizer for biofeedback. That's what I showed you earlier when I got the sample from my horse's mouth. Okay. So let me share my screen. I'm going to stop the share. Okay, here we are. So let's go into presets. So I'm going to show you the terrain first, okay? So here we are at the home page in the presets. And you see down here is detox, okay? Click on that. Now, what are you going to use? Coil, contact, laser, plasma, remote, scalar. Well, we're going to use remote for the 11-day terrain, okay? Click on remote. So now you have some options here, right? So the regular one, terrain, is here, okay? Now, if you want terrain low power, click on that. It's going to give you 4 options. So the number one is the lowest one. It's 0.25 volts, okay? The regular one is 5 volts. So you've got 0.5 volts, 1 volt, or 2.5 volts. So decide which one you want to do. Maybe go less is better if you're, concerned. Anyway, so I'm going to run the regular one, okay? Which I've done on all my animals, and they were fine. They did great with it. Okay, so here's a list of the cycle, like what it does, remove metals. And the last one is lymphatic system. So this is all strategic. It's all designed perfectly, right, to give you an excellent cleanse. Now, you go into control, right? You click overwrite generator, and then you choose the generator you're going to use. Obviously, that generator has to have the remote attached to it with the DNA sample. You also want to use the booster for this. So you click on there, and here it comes up. All right, so you see it, generator 11, 1, remove metals. Don't get confused out here. People get confused. It says estimated total runtime, 1 hour and 2 seconds, I believe, right? It's just going to repeat itself. Repeats itself, repeats itself. So you don't have to worry. Don't worry. It's going to do it by itself. You don't have to do anything except press start. That's it. It's so simple. Okay, so say like what happens with me, sometimes I have to turn my power off because I run out of power because I'm off grid and I'm running on generators, solar generators and turbines. And what I do, if I have to shut down this, I look at here, see the preset underneath this box here with the frequency numbers. you'll see dwell, step, preset, okay? So preset is where it's at. Is it on? So right now it's number 1, okay? So then you go to the next day, that would probably be 2. Just see where it is, and then, and the step, that means where it's at within that part of it, okay? You just write those numbers in there and start it from there. So you don't have to go from the beginning each time. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to start it because that's so easy. You just click on start and then it will start. All right, so let's go back to presets. I'm going to show you. So all the programs in here are presets. They're already designed. And once you click on them and you do what I just did, it's going to run it. But set out, you want to make your own program. Okay. So I'm going to show you how you do that. So let's go into shell empty presets. Okay. And then I'm going to click on remote because I'm going to use remote. So what do I want to do? Do I want to kill something or do I want to heal something? Okay. So say like my horse has an infection. I want to kill the bacteria, right? So it's a killing program. There's several to choose from. And if you're not sure, you can do kill or heal. I'm going to click on a killing program. So you see where it has R, that means remote. That's important. You want to make sure you're on the right setting. So I'm doing it remotely. I see R there in brackets, and JK is the name of the person who created this preset. Okay. So I've done that. I go into programs, okay, and I'm going to put in infection here in the search bar. Here we go. Search for infection. So all kinds of things come up here. Abscesses, adenovirus, bacterial infection. So here we go. Bacterial. And then I might pick a few, okay? And then I just click the plus button. That's really important. You want to drop it into this box, loaded programs box. Really important. I used to forget to do that, and then it wouldn't run. And I was like, why is it not running? That's why, because I didn't click this plus. But the other way that you can do it is you can do double click. See? And it will just go in there. And if you want to take it out, just double click it. Out, gone. Okay. So here, this software is 2022. I'm really attached to it. I don't really want to upgrade. I'm not a Windows person. And anyway, so please forgive me if I don't have the latest software. But this is what it looks like on here. I think on the later ones, this option box is somewhere else. But for anyone with 22 or earlier, it's going to look like this. But you'll get the gist of it. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to repeat the chain. Okay. So these two make a chain. I want to repeat it. That means I want it to keep going. I want it to keep going until I manually stop it. So in repeat chain is 0. So it's already going to do that. That means it's just going to keep going. That's great. That's what I want. Go into control. Click overwrite generator. That's the first thing you do. You always click on overwrite generator. Pick your generator portal. There we go. See, it came up killing R remote. Bacterial infections, estimated runtime 36 minutes. It's just going to keep going over and over again. So how long would I run that for? Well, my horse had an infection in her leg. She cut it somehow, and then it got infected. So it wasn't terrible. I caught it quite early. And I did other things as well. Like I put topical things on, and I use oxygenated oil to keep the flies off and it speeds up the healing and things like that. But this is great too, right? Why not? Send frequencies. It's so great. It's non-invasive. She's not going to have side effects. And then it usually takes about 3 days. Okay. So, or it could be sooner than that. You just monitor, you just pay attention to what's going on. So this is just one simple example. Okay. Oh yeah, one more thing I was going to show you. So I'm going to show you how to use the sample digitizer, right? So let's go back into home. And the sample digitizer is a biofeedback method, right? It's a biofeedback mode. Click on biofeedback, and there it is, sample digitizer. Okay, so now you have all these options. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the regular one, okay, which is general biofeedback scan. There we go. Just click on that. I'm just going to make it simple for you. This is great. It's going to work great. So you already got your sample. You put it in between the slides. You put it into the generator. And now you're going to run the program, right? So now you go into control. Click overwrite. Okay, and there it comes. Oh, okay. It's as easy as that. It's so easy. Please don't get overwhelmed. Okay, I'm just showing you a really easy way to do it. It can get complicated if you want to, but when you know a bit more, then you can start doing the other scans, right? Hunt and kill and grade scans and things like that. I'm not going to overwhelm you right now. I'm just showing you simple things. Because what happens is people get too overwhelmed and they get put off. Like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. It's so complicated. I thought that in the beginning, and I just thought, I'm just going to do the basic things, the ones that are already designed. I don't have to change anything. It's already set up for me, right? And then when you get used to that, then you explore other things. That's what I did. Okay, but I remember at the beginning, it was a little challenging, but it's simple, right? Make it simple. I'm making it simple for you, and then you just press on scan. Okay, so then you're gonna scan that sample. It's gonna do it for you. At the end of the scan, there's frequencies that are gonna come up. You save them as a file. It's really easy. You just I think it gives you the option to save. You give it a title, like Ruby biofeedback scan, the date. I think that already comes up anyway. You can just add the name, and then it's going to go in the database, right? And you're going to find it in programs. I'm going to show you how you'll find it. Now, another thing you can do is reverse lookup, right? So reverse lookup is here. Just click on go, and it's going to show you everything in a database that matches the frequencies that came up. Okay, so not diagnostic, don't freak out. You might see some crazy things that come up, but it's just showing you that the frequencies from the scan match these frequencies. So for instance, with 1000 hertz, there's a lot of things, a long list of things that come under that one. All right. So does that mean you have all of those things? Does that mean that your pet has all those things? No. No. It just means all of those relate to that frequency. Okay. All right. What was I going to do? No. What was I going to do? I lost my train of thought now. So we did the general biofeedback, and then I was going to show you. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you how to find that file. Okay, because then what you do is you bring up the file, and then you run it in remote. or if you want, right, you can run it. Yeah, that's what you do. You're gonna go and pull out those frequencies and you can run it in remote. Okay, so over here on the right, see all these letters. These relate to all the programs in the database, right? So if you go minus and you click on BFB, that's all your biofeedbacks are going to come up. So say like I do my dog, Foxy. See all her biofeedback scans come up. So that's an easy way to find it. Make sure you click on plus again, so all the others come back again. That's it. So that's how easy it is. Right. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer. And then I want to tell you that right now, it's only for a couple more weeks. I have a discount code. It's Sarah, SARA 0712. Okay, that's 5% off. So you get 5% off anything in at the Spooky2 website. Okay, and I'm going to put the link for the website in the description, and I'll put the discount code in there as well. And then I'll update the discount code because I usually have discount codes running pretty much all the time. So I'll put a discount code in there for you and you can use that. And yeah, like I said, I'm happy to answer any questions. This is such a wonderful way of helping your animals so that you don't end up, breaking the bank on vet bills. And also you have control. You don't have to stress your animal out by having invasive tests and all kinds of things, I'm not telling you not to see the vet. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is a really proactive way of helping your pet. And I find it incredible. It's been really, really helpful for me. That's why I want to tell you about it. I think it's awesome. Okay, then, everybody, I'm going to end this now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, everyone. Oh, yeah, you can reach me at frequencies up, like frequencies, FREQUENCIESUP at gmail.com. And I'm on Facebook as Sarah Fancy. I'm on Instagram as Sarah Fancy Constellation. And this is my channel. Okay, and please subscribe and do a nice like if you like it. Thank you so much.